Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we are saying goodbye to the Tier 9 German cruiser, the Roon, and I am definitely looking forward to getting the Hindenburg. It has been a long time coming. Essentially it comes down to I got stuck on the Tier 7 York for quite a while before moving on to the Admiral Hipper, so I've had the German cruiser line for a long time, and it's finally come to the point where I can move on and finish up the German cruiser line, which I'm definitely looking forward to. The Roon is a fantastic ship. She is very fun to play, though she is quite a bit different. She's very similar to the Nuremberg in the retrospect that two of the guns are in the rear and you only have one gun in the front. But you upgrade from 2 guns of the Admiral Hipper to a triple turret, and it's so much fun. So hit points, you have 49,500 with a torpedo reduction of 16%. Artillery, like I said, you have 3 main guns, all 203, and it has the German AP, which does pretty massive amount of damage for her size, but she has horrible actual penetration of her AP. So if a ship starts to show you a slight angle, it generally will not actually penetrate for a citadel, so that is something you definitely have to keep in mind. Now, my Roon is set up for the range, and she has a reload time of 10 seconds with a range of 20.7 kilometers. HE damage is 2,500. It's not the greatest, but I did spec my Roon for demolition expert, so the chance of fire is a little bit greater, and the AP damage is 5,900, and they are very fun and very quick to target, so you can actually get your shots and where they need to be, unlike the York. Now, you do have something to help with your ship. You have 6 dual 105 secondaries. They are 5.3 kilometers. You have 4 single 150s, and they have a 5.3 kilometer. And then you have this special turret, which is another 150 millimeters, which sits right where your second turret would normally sit, and it has a 5.3 kilometers. So this actually does help the Roon whenever you're in that close combat, because the Roon does have an issue whenever battling someone that's super close. You can't always get the gun depression down all the way. Now, the Roon does have torpedoes. She does not have the 4 turrets like the Hippo does or the Hindenburg. She only has 1 single spread, and there are 4 on each side with a 64 knot speed and a range of 6 kilometers. AA defense is pretty good. You have quite a few, and generally a lot of tier 8s and 7s will not be able to handle your AA. Some might get through, but overall you can deal significant amount of damage with your AA, especially if you spec your Roon for AA defense. It definitely will take out those aircrafts. So you have 16 dual 37 millimeters, and then your secondaries work as well. So AA defense pretty decent. Nothing like the Baltimores, but a little bit better than the Ibukis. Now, maneuverability, she's a little slow. She's probably the 3rd slowest. It's been a while since I've done the Baltimore. But she has a top speed of 32.5 knots. Turning circle radius is a little big, 780 meters, with a rudder shift time of 9.1 seconds. Concealment is pretty fantastic. It's nothing like the Ibukis. Gets down to around 11.1 kilometers by sea, but there is a benefit to this. You do have a 3 kilometer, roughly about 3 kilometers of invisifying. So if you get into that position, you can actually invisify with the ship, because you are only detected after you fire your main guns at 17.2 kilometers. And this has a 20.7 kilometers, so you have a 3.5 kilometer window to actually use the invisifying technique. Detectability range by air is 7.9, so no, overall not bad. As far as upgrades, very standard as far as what I've done. I went for aiming systems mod 1, went for the main armaments mod 1, gunfire control, which extends your range, so that's why I went for that, so you can be a little bit better as far as sniping. Not always saying that the Roon is designed for sniping, but it does a pretty good job. Damcom 1, and then steering gears mod 2, as well as system concealment Mod 1. Now my captain is, I believe, a 16, 17 point captain at the moment. Very similar to what I've done. Obviously went for basics firing training, basics of survivability, expert marksman, superintendent demolition expert, and concealment expert. Now what you could possibly do is obviously go for advanced firing training, which increases the range of your secondaries as well as your AA defense, which is going to make the rune a little bit harder target for CVs to go after. But I went for demolition because I wanted stronger HE shells, which does really benefit you overall. So other than that, we're gonna go ahead and jump into a replay, so I will see you guys there. All right, everyone, welcome back to a replay in the rune. And I will have to say that when I was trying to get a good game with the rune and really show off the potential of what the rune can do, I could tell I haven't played my rune in a while. But anyways, we are currently playing on Neighbor. We have a Lexington, Azumo, North Carolina, Bismarck, Amagi, Gneisenau, Rune, Mogami, Atlanta, Miyoko, Sims, and a Moss, I'm guessing is how you pronounce it, so do forgive me. On the enemy team, there's a Shakaku, Iowa, North Carolina, Tirpitz, Amagi, Gneisenau, Baltimore, Mogami, Pensacola, Belfast, Benson, and a Akatsuki. And once again, we are joined with Holy Water Cow on our team, playing as Atlanta. I don't know why, but his name just really pops out to me, and so I've seen him quite a few times in my videos ever since, a long time ago, probably since my Moggy, almost. Anyways, we are going to be a little ballsy, and we're going to move towards A. Now, normally, whenever you're playing on this map and you are on the northwest hand side, majority of the time your team will be moving to C, but this time I decided to go to A. I just wanted to have some fun, and that's something I've noticed a few times, that I don't always have fun whenever I'm playing World of Warships. Sometimes you want to have that more pulse pounding fun experience that you want in a game. Now, I'm not saying that World of Warship never has that. It's just sometimes you take the game a little bit too seriously, or you have other players that take the game a little bit too seriously. But a Turbits does show up. I am being a little patient. I don't want to give away my position just yet. Wait till he fired, and any second now. There we go. Just lining up the shot. Now, the rune's HE, as far as all Germans go, is not the highest as far as fire chance, nor the most damaging. That's usually more reserved for Japanese and Russian cruisers and battleships even sometimes. So enemy team has kind of popped up. We were spotted and everyone took a shot at us, but fortunately we were able to dodge majority of the shots due to the fact that the island was able to get right between us. Now, the Tirpitz was on fire for a little while. Looks like he currently still is. And the German destroyer is currently fighting off the Akatsuki. And I have to say, from what I've heard about the Akatsuki, it's kind of a bother. Well, we'll talk about it whenever I actually get it. Now, the Mogami is showing me a nice little broadside. Have our AP loaded, and AP on the German cruisers is pretty potent. Got a Citadel, did well over 12,000 points of damage. Very, very nice. Fire another salvo. But one thing is probably a bad thing about the German AP, as you can saw, we just got 2 ricochets off of that Mogami, even though he was only slightly angled. German AP does not penetrate that well. Sometimes you get Citadels like that, where you're previously you got a ricochet, but we do run into the friendly Gneisenau now, able to at least slip away. The friendly destroyer does cover us up. We get a fire on that Tirpitz. Very nice. He can burn a little bit longer. But that's probably my main issue. I understand it's part of the balancing of the German cruisers is you don't want them too powerful, having the highest damage output on their AP and still able to penetrate at a angle. So I understand that. Now, the Tirpitz is just pushing up Probably being a little bit too brave right now, and we're getting fairly good, decent damage. But one other good thing about German AP is on broadside targets, you can do significant amount of damage. And there's the Atatsuki, very, very low on health. I would love to get rid of him, and I am pulling away due to the fact there are, I believe, three battleships: the Tirpitz, the Iowa, and the North Carolina, plus the Megami, the Atatsuki, and the Baltimore that are all at A, and all that's over with us is the German destroyer and the Gneisenau. So probably a good time to actually maneuver away. Now the Atatsuki has fire torpedoes, but dies away before even reaching target. And I would love to get rid of the Atatsuki. The Moss just took out the enemy Tirpitz with some torpedoes. And now we have a Baltimore. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to AP, but we do lose the Moss to the Iowa. And I'm hoping that the Baltimore will actually turn broadside. And the German destroyer captain's not very happy that we had to pull away. Well, I mean, we would have all probably died, but that's always debatable. Baltimore did show us a little bit of a broadside, and of course, one of his shells hit, and we get set on fire. That's always the luck. Now, here I accidentally pushed hydroacoustics. Yeah, that was kind of a missed punch right there. But you can see that even though the Baltimore wasn't terribly angled away, we did not get any penetrations. And there's the Atatsuki running around, and just one good salvo should be able to take out this destroyer once and for all. Any second now. There we go. Very first kill of the game. For us, at least. The enemy team's not doing so well. They've actually lost 5 ships to our 1. Now, I am kind of being the focus target at the moment. Not exactly sure why. I guess this Baltimore really did not like me shooting at him, but oh well. Alright. Pulled away. Iowa and North Carolina are all pushing out. The Gneisenau is currently having to deal with both of those battleships, and that's not a really good position he wants to be in. Now, at this time, HE is probably going to be a good bet. We want to at least catch fire on this Iowa. And you see the benefit of this long range that the German cruisers have. 20.7 kilometers, and we can actually invisifire. We have approximately, I believe, about 3.5 kilometers to invisifire, which is, I believe, at least a kilometer better than the Hindenburg. The Hindenburg doesn't have that good of invisifiring. But German HE does not do a good job whenever trying to catch fires, even though I do have Demolition Expert on my Roon. Now the Gneisenau goes down, and we become the favorite target for this Iowa. And, fortunately, over penetrations, that's fine. But you can see with this Iowa showing us more broadside, and unfortunately right there was quite a terrible remark on the damage output, since we did get a shell breaking on the Iowa. But normally, if a battleship shows you broadside like a Iowa or say a Fiete de Gross, not so much the Ismo, because the Ismo doesn't really have a lot of superstructure, you can get very high damage roll, well over 8,000 damage with your AP alone. And with the fairly high decent rate of fire on the Roon, and it looks like the North Carolina gets a Citadel on us, which is slightly unfortunate. But we do get 2 fires on that North Carolina, but he does have Damcom up and going, and I'm just actually going to pull away. Now the Roon obviously has this Nuremberg configuration where the majority of your firepower is in the back, and it's hard for the Roon to push up by itself. It really does need the assistance of other ships, so it can actually bring to bear all 3 turrets to actually do damage. Now the North Carolina is burning quite nicely. We're still his favorite target, but with that, he's actually showing us a broadside. I'm actually going to be continuing pulling away, because it's getting you only about 4,000 points of damage versus a Citadel. Yeah, much rather not get a Citadel. Now with this North Carolina, he's showing us broadside. We get about 3,000 points of damage on that previous salvo, and about 4,500 points of damage on that salvo there. And of course we get a ricochet. Now the Baltimore, I would love to get rid of. He is showing us a nice broadside, and you could probably see at this point I probably could have pushed up. Yeah, I probably should have, but fired a salvo at the Baltimore, and we get 3,894. Not too bad. But sometimes it feels like you almost have to treat the Roon like a sniper. It does a fantastic job sniping. As you can see, we're landing the salvos fairly easily, and we're doing significant amount of damage with our AP. It's nothing like the York. That York. Ugh. Now, the AA defense on the Roon is fairly good. It probably would be even a little bit better if I had the AA Madness, but I don't have it because I rather have hydroacoustics available, because German hydro is phenomenal with a almost 6-kilometer detection zone. Now, first salvo we fired off at the Iowa goes a little long because I was expecting him to be going a little bit quicker, but still showing us a broadside. We get only about 1,947. Can we get more damaging rolls? Now you can see down on the bottom left how much angle I actually have to give to this Iowa just to get all my guns to bear. And it can be really damning whenever you play in a Roon, because you have to give off more broadside just to get all your weapons to bear. And that's one of the seriously bad things about the Roon, is the horrible gun placement. It's like a reverse Iowa. Take it like that. So our team earned a victory, and we earned 371,135 silver, 4,147 XP, and 208 free XP. We did over 146,000 points of damage and 157 shell hits, 1 plane shot down, 1 kill, 8 fires, 2 citadels, and 4 defended base caps. And we earned top of the team with a base XP of 1,783. And so you can see that with the AP versus HE, we fired 91 shells of HE, did around 41,300 points of damage. Plus we did get some fires, so you could possibly mill that in. But if you're just counting the HE alone, the damage output on the shells alone, the AP, we fired 68, about a third less, a little bit more than a third, but about a third. We did 56,144, so well over 15,000 more points of damage. And that's really where the German cruisers really benefit from their damage, is their AP penetration damage. And so after everything is said and done, 162,951 silver was brought in. Now, I will have to say, I have been looking forward to getting the Hindenburg for quite some time. As one that has been around on my channel for a while, I was stuck on the York, and it was quite a pain for me. It was almost a damning experience for me working up the German cruiser line. And that's probably what really slowed me down, was the York. I really will blame it. But the Roon is actually a really fun ship. It has phenomenal rate of fire. Not as good, obviously, as the lower tiers. But for a tier 9, really good rate of fire. A lot better than the Baltimore. High penetration damage. Pretty decent AA. You can at least defend yourself, even if you are not running defensive AA on your ships. And of course you have hydroacoustics and those torpedoes, which is slight discerning, going from 4 torpedo tubes down to 2 on each side, or 1 on each side. Now I will have to say I am definitely looking forward to the Hindenburg, and can't wait to actually try her. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.